This is Get Real with Bob and Stacy, the show that helps you learn about the mortgage and real estate markets. Get the inside scoop from their expert list of guests and have some fun along the way. Now, here's Bob Gallagher and Stacy Alcorn.
Welcome back. You're listening to Get Real with Bob and Stacy. You're joining us for our Leaders and Legends segment, and our first guest today is Ruth Sherman, CEO and celebrity speech and media coach. Welcome to the show, Ruth.
Thanks so much. Great to be with you.
So I want to give everybody some background on Ruth. She is a sought-after consultant, communications expert, commentator, author, and speaker. She prepares business leaders, executives, celebrities, and public figures to fine-tune their speaking and presence on stage, camera, and in the media. Ruth's philosophy is that charisma is a learned skill and once mastered has the potential to motivate, persuade, inspire, and advance business and personal interests. She works closely with her clients to develop their public speaking, perfect their personal and professional magnetism, and transform their ability to connect and attract in any venue. She provides a wide range of services, always tailored to each client's specific needs, skills, goals, and opportunities. Her formal training as a musician, a background as a commercial singer and announcer, as well as holding a master's degree in speech and interpersonal communication, her combined background creates a unique foundation and approach to communicating. She blends her academic training and professional insights, bringing her clients a wealth of experience and an appreciation for their specific circumstances and objectives. Her insights and strategies have been included on ABC, CBS, MSNBC, CNBC, Fox, and BBC. She's been on all kinds of programs. Her people have been all kinds of celebrities. She's also an active volunteer, having served on several nonprofit boards. I will say I've personally met Ruth. I've seen her in action helping people through the Alley to the Valley summits in New York City, and she's amazing. So tell us, I think the easiest way, Ruth, just to talk about communicating, especially coming off of the recent presidential elections, can you tell us which candidate was more effective as far as communicating? What did each one do right? What did they do wrong? And what could they have done better in communicating to voters?
You know, it's a real tough, it's a tough analysis, Stacey. By the way, it's great to hear your voice.
Thanks.
And it's a tough analysis in this election because, as we're seeing, it looks like Hillary Clinton has won the popular vote, but Donald Trump has won the Electoral College. So my argument, the best communicator always wins, is a tougher argument to make. But here's what I'll say about it. Donald Trump did what he had to get the votes he needed to flip the Electoral College. And that was not an accident. He connected with more people than Hillary Clinton was able to connect with on that front. So if we look at it holistically in that regard, that he won, then he actually succeeded better than she did. His communication was more effective than hers was. In my opinion, for her, considering all of his baggage and all of everything that we had seen over the past campaign, it seems to me that she should have won by a much larger margin than the few 100,000 votes it's looking as if she's won with, which of course was not enough to put her over the top with the Electoral College. So Donald Trump succeeded because his communication was more effective in certain ways. The biggest thing that Donald Trump had going for himself, and I've said this at every single venue I've spoken this in, at Microsoft, at Google, at Intuit, at Alley to the Valley yesterday in San Jose, his message was a genius message. It was an aspirational message, make America great again. Easy to say, great frame, great point of view, gives people hope for the future, went right directly to what they were feeling, that America was great once, it isn't anymore, he will make it great again, or together we'll make it great again. Hillary Clinton's message just was muddled. And the way we know that is because she changed it throughout. Right. So it started out, I'm with her, and that was ultimately a hashtag, right? She stuck with that. but that wasn't an aspirational message per se.
Right.
But then it went to something like Fighting for Us, and then She's With Us, and then finally Stronger Together. So none of these, number one, were great aspirational messages. None of them really gave us hope for the future or told us about what she was thinking or changed or went to the heart of what we wanted or what the populace wanted.
Right.
Well, I'm not speaking about this in the first person. But mainly what it was what was she going to do that was going to make our lives better? None of those messages had it, and the giveaway was that she couldn't stick with one.
Okay, so having one message.
That's my story, yes.
Yes. So having one message, but also just having seen you a couple of years in a row at the Alley to the Valley Summit, I saw you do a presentation just trying to coach somebody on how to communicate better. And there were so many pieces that went into it, such as the way you stand, the way you breathe, the way that you influx your voice. Like, how many pieces are there to the puzzle, and are any pieces more important than the other?
It's very complex. In general, public speaking skills, like you said, Stacey, the way you look, sound, move, and travel. And travel refers to if you're on a platform or you're on a stage, literally, how you walk, how you command that space. But how you look, sound, move, and travel, all of those things that you just mentioned, is the most important thing. And the reason that that's the most important thing, and that's a complex set of skills,
right.
Your facial expression, your eye contact, hand gestures, stance, posture, dress, and adornment, all of the things, all of the choices that we make, that complex set of skills makes a person believable. So it gives meaning to your words. Your words in isolation, people might as well just take your PowerPoint presentation or your script and go home and read it.
Right.
If they're watching you, what they want to see is, do you display confidence, certainty, a level of authority about what you're talking about? And it doesn't matter whether you're talking about what I'm talking about, which of course somebody would, it makes sense that you think, well, I have to be a role model on that. But when you're talking about real estate, when you're talking about the market,
right.
when you're talking about some scientific idea, when you're talking about technology, all of it requires a level of certainty and a display of authority that is only done through the nonverbal, what we call the nonverbal codes of communication.
Right.
So there's that piece of it.
Okay.
It's a little bit, so go ahead. Don't want to keep going on and on here.
So, for example, clients that hire you, because I see it in my own speaking, I actually need to hire you, which I've said every time I see her, I'm like, I need to hire you. So this is a good reminder for me, again, that I need to hire you. But having spoken on stages several times, I would say 5 years ago when I would do a speech, I had a handful of issues, which I've probably self-corrected those few issues that I saw in myself or got feedback on. But now there's like all these other issues that pop up. Like even as you become more experienced in it, other little pieces pop up. So is it something that people hire you for ongoing for particular speeches, or is it one time that they would hire you to get help?
It is all of that. It really, everybody, all of my private coaching, Stacey, is customized. Okay. So like you said, there are things that you self-corrected and over time, and you make a really interesting point. And let me just put some context around that. What you're saying is because you've been out doing it, which is part of how you practice, you've gotten better.
Right.
And that's exactly what's supposed to happen. So kudos to you for getting out there. A lot of people won't even do that. Too many people. This is the greatest marketing and personal branding tool no one wants to use.
Right.
And if you do want to use it, you don't want to spend the time to get better at it, but you clearly are, and that's a key element of this. But everybody's different. So when I work with clients, it's like, well, where are you? What's your level of skill? What's your level of skill now? Where do you want to be? And how much time is it going to take for us to get there? So right. It's not an exact science. So it can be ongoing. There are clients that I work with over time on a monthly basis. We meet, we work on things because they are constantly presenting and they're constantly wanting to hone their skills. But if you want to reach a level of mastery, Stacey, then you got to work. You got to. It's like learning mastery or mastering any kind of a skill, whether you're playing tennis or learning a musical instrument, or mastering any kind of a skill. It's a never-ending journey. And I say this to you as somebody, I'm an expert in this. I go out and I speak all the time, and I think I'm pretty good at this point, but I have a coach.
Right.
So,
Interesting.
when I have something high stakes coming up that's super important,
Yes.
I call her.
Yes.
It's like, okay, what do you think? Because she can see things that I can't see. And that's that's what coaches are supposed to do.
All right. And do you ever have people that they hire you and they're like truly pathetic, and you're like, is there anybody you can't help, or have you had like some major success stories where you take somebody that just is like so scared of getting up on a stage and turn them into an amazing speaker?
Everybody can do this.
Wow.
Every single person, Stacey. Bob. It really, it's not the kind of thing where you're a lost cause.
Yes.
Nobody is a lost cause. Everybody's got the equipment. I should say the vast majority of people have the equipment. The physical equipment. It is all technique. And this has been shown over and over and over again. There are people I get at that variety of levels of skill, or people who are terribly frightened of it, and even for them there's tremendous help. But here's what I'll say about this. Practice is the key to the kingdom. It is the biggest obstacle my busy clients face because it's tedious and boring. But if you don't practice, and a lot of that practice, of course, has to be done when I'm not there.
Right.
And it's also another reason that my clients get me on their calendar, because they will do it otherwise. It's too horrible to even think about having to spend time practicing. But if you do it, it's absolutely, it's going to make you better, and you'll attain that mastery over time.
And I think another important point that when I came back from the first Alley to the Valley, I think it was the first or second, I had your book. I bought a bunch of copies of your book for my real estate agents, because sometimes I think people might think that what you do is to help speak in front of a crowd. But I think all of the skills that you teach are equally important for any of us that are just presenting one-to-one, going on a sales call.
Absolutely. You're going to walk in an extremely competitive field, and every field is competitive these days. But we know real estate has always been an incredibly competitive field, and your agents are presenting mostly in those small meetings and what we would call less formal encounters. And they absolutely have to project the kind of confidence and knowledge that they absolutely have.
Right.
So if they behave in a shy or retiring way, those clients might go elsewhere to somebody who can project the confidence. And so here's what I would say, and thank you for buying the books, by the way. But the whole idea is that projecting that confidence, even if you don't feel it inside, because once you get those listings, or you get that business, you'll start to feel it because it works.
Absolutely. So, I think that's the big piece, that even reading your books, it provides a sense of confidence. And just going into a room to present with a little bit of confidence is a game changer.
It's a game changer. And I think this is also something that, that women in particular, and I know your agents are not just women, but women in particular have to embody and embrace, I should say, because we're really not socialized to posture that confidence, whether we feel it or not. But we should. We should more and more. Yeah.
All right, so we only have a couple minutes left. Can you tell us about your most recent book, Secrets, and where can people find you?
Oh, thank you. Well, you can find me at ruthsherman.com, and I invite everyone to subscribe on my website, ruthsherman.com, where if you do that, you will immediately receive complimentary training videos and a plethora of materials to help you learn and get better at these skills. So that's number one. My book, Secrets, the 30 best, most effective, most overlooked marketing and personal branding essentials, is available at Amazon in both the hard copy and the Kindle version. So go there and look for it. It's Secrets, rhymes with secrets, but with the word speak. in front of it. It was published just last year, and it is a compilation of essays on everything you can imagine, including things that we've talked about today. So,
all right.
I invite people to look at it and let me know what you think.
All right. Awesome stuff. We have 1 minute left. So if you could give one word of advice for somebody that's going out today making a presentation, what one little tweak can they do to win a presentation?
Prepare, prepare, prepare. It's like, how do you get to Carnegie Hall? Take a look, sit down, look at who your client is, try to understand where they're coming from, what their needs are, be able to tune into them, prepare whatever it is that you're going to say, know the types of real estate that you're going to be showing them, or whatever it is that you're doing, whomever is listening to this, whatever profession you are in, go in there and don't forget that people want you to succeed. Nobody wants you to fail. They're spending their precious time with you. They want you to wow them, to sell them.
Right.
There's a myth out there that people don't want to be sold. Well, maybe not in an overt way, but they want to connect with you.
Right.
So think about it that way.
That is awesome.
Great
Thank
advice.
you for joining us. This is the amazing Ruth Sherman. You can find her at ruthsherman.com. And don't forget to get out there, grab a copy of her book, whether you're presenting to crowds or presenting in a sales format, just one-to-one. The book is Speakrets, Speakrets, the 30 best, most effective, most overlooked marketing and personal branding essentials. Thank you for joining us today, Ruth.
Thanks, Ruth.
It's been my pleasure. Thanks, guys. Have a great day.
Thank you.
We're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be back with more Get Real after this.